Hello students, I'm Dr. Pallavi Sethi. This lesson is from Class 12 English Core 301 NCERT Supplementary Reader, Vistas. This is part 2 of lesson number 5, Should Visit Hit Mommy by John Updike. The objective here is to recapitulate part 1, form an opinion by analyzing Mother Skunk's reaction to Roger Skunk's new smell of roses, and also to understand parents' perspective and that of a child about the ending of the story. But before we begin, let's do a quick recap with the questions that I left you with in part 1. Question 1. What was the basic tale of Jack's narration every evening? The answer: a character named Roger suffered with some problem, so he went to an enormous wise owl who lived on a tree top. He would then advise him to go to an old wizard with a white beard and a pointed blue hat who would cast a magic spell and solve the problem through his magic wand. Then charge him a fee more than what Roger had. He would direct him to a place where the extra pennies could be found. Question 2. Why did the ride seem futile, especially for Saturday naps? The answer: Jo was a little grown up now. She was 4 and she would not fall asleep. She would be wide awake, alert, attentive, and inquisitive while her father Jack narrated the story. The next question: what problem did Roger Skunk suffer with? Why was he unhappy? Roger Skunk smelt foul. All the other woodland creatures would run away crying, "Oh, here comes the stinky skunk," and poor Roger would be left alone crying. Question 4. How did the wizard solve his problem? The wizard cast a magic spell and with the help of his magic wand gave him the smell of roses as desired by Roger Skunk. And question 5. How did the other woodland creatures react to his new smell? The answer: they all gathered around him as they liked the smell and then they played team games. So I'm sure this would have helped you to catch up with part 1 of the story. So shall we continue now with part 2? So I think it's page number 53 of your books. So Jack continues, Roger Skunk was very happy with the new smell and the lovely time he had playing with his friends in the woods. Now Jo here thinks that the story is over with a happy ending, and so she starts playing with the shades. Now Jack does not approve of this because he did not like women taking him for granted. He liked them to be apprehensive, hanging on to his words. So students, being apprehensive, hanging to his words, doesn't that give you an indication of a male dominance, or somewhere you can say that, male chauvinism in this patriarchal society? Now Jack tries to gather Joe's attention by saying, "Joe, are you listening?" So Jack continues, just as Roger Skunk reaches home, Mommy screams, "What's that awful smell?" Excited Roger says, "It's me, Mommy. I smell like roses. The wizard gave me the smell." Mommy is very annoyed. She calls the wizard awful wizard. She goes back straight away to the wizard and asks him to give back Baby Skunk's original smell, and also hits the wizard on his head with an umbrella. Jo gets tensed and she tries to stop the source of truth by keeping her hand on her dad's lips. But she can't do so. So she gets an inspiration and says, "Then the wizard hit the mommy on the head, did not let him change the smell." But Jack insists, no. The wizard said okay and changed it to its original smell. Now students, let's talk a little about the skunk. What's a skunk? Skunk is a mammal and almost size of a cat. It looks somewhat like a squirrel, you can say. Now, it is, a kind of a creature that squirts a stinky smell in order to save itself or protect itself from its predator. And the smell of the skunk spray is so strong that we can even smell it a kilometer away. So, with this reaction of the mother, Jack somewhere wants to bring in the fact that mother is always concerned about her baby, wants to protect her or him. And this smell is kind of a self defense and their identity, and hence she doesn't approve of the wizard being so immature in his act of changing the smell to roses. But Jo is not convinced, she's not happy, and she calls her stupid mommy. But Jack is firm and he continues with the story that the skunk family had healthy dinner with a pie and dessert, and she hugged her little baby skunk and said that she loved him very much. So you see, students, here Jack is trying to justify the mother's act, her concern, and her self assurance by saying that she loves her baby. Jack tries to end the story by confirming that eventually the other animals got used to Roger's skunk smell and they played with him. So, students, here you can somewhere understand that he's trying to expose his daughter to the real world where everything doesn't have a happy ending as desired by a child. He speaks from the parent's perspective. He tries to emphasize that one must not lose one's identity in order to impress upon others. He also tries to say that parents are best guides, they think the best for the children, and hence the children must obey them, follow them. But Jo is still not happy with the ending of the story, and she wants Daddy to end the story her way. But Jack disapproves. However, on her repeated insistence, he says, "We'll see." Now, as Jack goes down, his wife Claire says with sarcasm, "That was a long story." He finds that his wife Claire had already painted some furniture. Half was new ivory and half old tan. He finds himself caught up in an ugly middle position. Now, students, this somewhere indicates the thought process going on in Jack's mind. The half-old tan furniture indicates the old school of thinking, according to which the parents are right in what they think and do for their children, and hence the children must obey them and follow them. On the other side, the new ivory indicates the new school of thinking, where children should be given the freedom to think their way, act their way. So you see, Jack feels heavy in his head and finds himself caught up between the two endings of the story. Moreover, he's bound by his duties towards the two females of the house. They want things their way. So that again is being caught up in an ugly middle position. So with this, we come to the end of the story, Should Wizard Hit Mommy? Let's have a quick recap through some questions, which I'm sure you would find answers to. Question 1. What is your stance regarding the two endings of the story? Question 2. What makes Jack feel caught up in an ugly middle position? Question 3. Why is an adult's perspective of life different from that of a child? So, I shall leave you with this question, Should wizard hit mommy? Thank you and goodbye.